Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Now I will be ranking the top 8 for the final series. So I won't be ranking them off the home and away season. I'll be ranking off their finals. So without further ado, let's go. So Collingwood, S tier. You know, they won the flag, so you can't really, you can't put them in A or anything. If it was Brisbane, I would have put them in S, if they won the flag, obviously. But Collingwood, it was theirs to lose, to be honest. And, you know, they outperformed really well throughout the finals. Who do they beat? They beat Melbourne by like 7 points, and then they beat GWS by 1 point, and then they beat Brisbane by 4 points. So they had a stellar year, and yeah, you know, they deserved it. They've been the best team all year, no doubt. The second best team of all this year, Brisbane, they're a class act. Like, yes, you know, they did some dirty things on Saturday, but at the same time, so did Collingwood. But obviously the late bumps and stuff, like, you didn't really need to do. They did cost themselves a premiership that way with some of their acts that they did. You know, they just didn't need to give away downfield free kicks. And a couple of stupid 50s that they gave after a tackle, even though it was a mark. And then, yeah, but they were just outclassed in the end, and they did really well. So you got to put them in A, because what a phenomenal year, if I know how to pronounce that. All right, so we're going to go Carlton now. Now, you can't really see them, so that's a little bit annoying. Hey, dog. Anything to say? Nah, fair enough. You can't actually see them, but that is them there. Carlton, going to have to put them in A. What a great season. Like, you know, they beat... Who did they beat? They beat... Oh, I can't remember who they beat. They beat a few teams just to get there, and they played some really good football. I'm trying to think who they beat. I forgot. They beat... they beat Sydney at the G, and then they played... who did they play? They played Melbourne, and so they beat them, and they just lost by about 16 points-ish against Brisbane at the Gabba, which is never an easy task, so they did really well. So the next one is GWS. I have to put them in front. I have to put them in front of Carlton, because they had an incredible run, not only in the finals, but obviously they won like 12. I think they won in about 12 locations in Australia, which is incredible. Like, I don't think any team's done that in a year. So they've just had a great year. They beat, who did they beat? They beat, trying to think now, they beat St Kilda. They beat Port Adelaide, and they just lost by a point against Collingwood. So, you know, that just shows how much talent they have and how much depth. And so they had a really good year. Unlucky just to miss out, but still a really good year. So Port Adelaide, I'm going to have to put them in D. Like, they had so much going for them. Like, yes, they did lose to Brisbane, but no shame. But they just didn't turn up against GWS, and they were outclassed. And especially at the home ground, so like, they should take full advantage. They just weren't hungry enough and weren't good enough in the contest. So yeah, their goal kicking didn't help them at all. But at the same time, yeah, they just weren't good, to be honest. I'm going to put Melbourne in D as well. You know what? I'm going to put them in front. Yes, Port Adelaide had a few injuries, but let's go with Melbourne now. So Melbourne, they're at the MCG. They did lose against Collingwood by 7 points. No shame. 8 points maybe. But then they just weren't hungry enough. They had so much talent and so much opportunities, but they just didn't capitalise on them this year, and they were just blaming people. They were blaming the opposition for some tactics during the season, and then just... yeah, so instead of playing football, they just let the emotions get to them. So that's why I'll put them in D. And they're back-to-back. What are they? Back-to-back. Straight sets. That's it. So the next one is going to be St Kilda. Now, I have to put them in B because they performed really well this year in the finals. Yes, they did lose to GWS, but they played some really good football, and they weren't quite out of it, but they only lost by 5 maybe goals, 4 goals. I think they lost by 4 goals in the end. So that's a really positive step. They haven't played finals since what, 2000, and I actually cannot remember the last time St Kilda played in finals. It could have been 2002. I don't know. I can't actually count how many years, but yeah. So they finally made finals. Now we've got Sydney. Now I'm going to put them in C, just because based on their performance against Carlton, you know, they played some good football, but they played some bad football during that game. So, but I mean, they were what, a few goals? Was it a few goals in about? I can't remember. But yeah, they just weren't good enough in the end, and I'll put them in C, just below, because they had a grand final last year to first round, and in a way controversial. They probably shouldn't have made finals, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, they made finals, and yeah, they'll learn from it. So with all of that, I was ranking the AFL finals. Congratulations to Collingwood, and congratulations to Brisbane as well for making a great finals. And it's been a great finals series, to be honest. And it's been relaxing not having to watch Geelong lose in the finals this year. So that was good. Looking forward to the off season, seeing how it goes. Trade period coming up, plenty of content. And I'll be reacting to my 2023 AFL final. So we'll see how we go. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Peace.